If you're unhappy with the performance of your sales team, be reassured that you are not alone. Most of the calls that I get on a daily basis are from people who want me to come in and fix their sales team. They're not happy with the results they're getting. They're not happy with the quality of opportunities that they're seeing. And they don't know exactly what it is that they need to do, but they know that it's the people that they have on board. And the news that I have to deliver to them is rarely what they want to hear. The problem, more than likely, is not with your people. The problem is with your process or your lack of a process. So today we're going to talk very quickly about what it takes to develop a powerhouse sales process. So no matter what the size of your team, no matter what your organization is selling, you can have a process in place to ensure the success of your team members. So the first thing that you have to do, if you're already in existence and you already have salespeople selling for you, is you need to ask your salespeople a couple of very key questions. You need to make sure that everybody on your team understands what you're selling, who you're selling it to, what makes you special, and what values your company has. So who you are, easy. What you're selling, make sure that your sales team has a very deep understanding of the products and services that you're offering on a regular basis. And especially if you have new product rollout, make sure that your salespeople are well caught up on all of the specifics of that particular product or service. Who you're selling it to. So every salesperson has to understand deeply who your target market is. So demographics, geographics, psychographics. Make sure that every person on your sales team can rattle those off very quickly. And what makes you special? So you obviously have competitors, we all do. So what is it about your company that differentiates you from the competition in the marketplace? And I will tell you right now, saying quality and customer service is cheating. Those are not differentiators. Those are just baseline rules for participation, right? So if you want to participate in the game in whatever industry you're in, yeah, you have to have some quality and you have to provide customer service. You're going to have to do better than that with your differentiators. If your team understands truly those factors, then you can move on to building out sales strategy. So sales strategy has to be developed at a high level. It should be part of your quarterly and annual strategic planning sessions that I know you're all holding. And your management and leadership team should be participating in this. So deciding who you're going to target and how you're going to target them is critically important. That strategy needs to be reviewed on a quarterly basis, but then it also needs to be broken down into smaller components that I call campaigns. So you need to have individual campaigns within your sales strategy that are targeting very specific slices of your market. And you need to be reviewing those pretty frequently. So at least every other week, looking at the campaigns that you're running and seeing how successful they are. If you have online campaigns that you're launching, you can do this daily or every other day. But for a traditional sales organization, looking every other week at how your campaigns are performing is really important because you need to be able to pivot to a new campaign or change up the way that you're talking about things if it's not providing the type of pipeline that you want it to. Once your strategy and your campaigns are in place, you really need to look at the roles on your team. So most people have sales folks that they expect to do multiple roles, right? So they expect their salesperson to be in charge of prospect research, new business development, and account management. And I will tell you right now, after 20 years in sales and teaching at a university and assessing lots of salespeople, no one is good at all three of those. If they're good at one, they will be really bad at the other two. And if you're asking one person to do all three of those things, you're really just setting them up to fail in a majority of their job. In 2/3 of their job responsibilities, you're setting them up to fail. So a successful powerhouse sales team breaks those roles into separate jobs. And that's easier than ever to do with outsourcing and gig work than it has been in the past. And we can talk more about that if you're interested. You've got separate roles. Now you need to set metrics for every individual on your team. Everyone on your team needs a number. Everyone needs to understand what it is that they need to accomplish in order to be successful in their job. And you need to focus not on trailing indicators. So many sales teams only care about sales number. What's the revenue at the end of the day? What's the revenue? Well, I hate to tell you this. By the time you know what the revenue is, you can't do anything to change it. The KPIs, the metrics that you want to focus on are the driving indicators. So what is it that's going to result in the sales that you want? So is it activities? Is it meetings? Is it calls? Is it packets sent? Is it, leads coming in from the website? What is it that's going to result in the revenue that you want so you can target that? And the last step in a powerhouse sales process is establishing daily work in progress meetings. You need to be meeting with your sales team on a daily basis. 5 to 15 minutes, stand up if you're in person, on Zoom if you're not, and that time is sacred. No one can schedule over your work in progress meeting. It doesn't matter if somebody has to dial in, if they're driving to a meeting. It doesn't matter if somebody has to do it from home. But before the workday starts, before the phones start ringing, have a 5 to 15 minute stand-up meeting with your sales team every single day in order to review their KPIs, check in on how the campaigns are doing, and hear about any problems that have arisen. If you're waiting to talk about KPIs and performance until the end of the quarter, you're too late. You can't change anything about it. So if you're talking about it daily, you're going to have a more successful team. And if you've managed to do all of that, if you've put together this entire sales process, then you can evaluate the success of your individuals. Then you can look and see, is this person the right person? Are they in the right seat? And then you can have training, you can have motivational seminars, you can do all of that kind of work once you know that your process is working properly. So I know we covered a lot today very, very quickly. And so if you're interested in seeing how your team's sales process holds up against all of those standards, follow the link in the comments that'll take you to my sales process evaluation. It's a quick 20-question quiz, gives you a score on a scale of 0 to 100 to let you know where you are. Anything over 80 is fabulous. Anything less than that, we can work on. And you can see where your sales process lines up and then where you need to do some work. So I hope that this has been a little bit helpful for you, maybe identifying some areas where your sales process needs some work. And if you'd like to talk more about it, feel free to reach out and we can have a conversation.